and welcome to an episode of BeamNG.Drive. In today's episode, we're going to be doing a new series that's going to be called something like, does BeamNG simulate this correctly, or is this correct in BeamNG.Drive, or is BeamNG correct? I don't know, just something like that. I'll figure out the name some other time. Anyway, we're going to get a different car, because today we're testing out differentials. So I'm going to get this sport model. And then in this sport model, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to vehicle customization. And then I'm going to go down here and make it a all-wheel drive transfer case. I'll do a whole video about the transfer case. So we're going to go for a viscous all-wheel drive system. Now that I have that, we're going to go to the rear differential, rear suspension, and we're going to put in an open rear differential. And then we're also going to put rally struts on this. Front, I'm also going to put some rally struts. And then I'm just going to go to the tuning, and I'm going to increase the spring height by probably about 0.05. Yeah, 0.05, that works. Okay, apply. So now we have this. What we're going to be testing out is not just like the differential, but we're going to see, does BeamNG simulate how a differential would work in real life when it comes to the computer controlling the traction control. So mainly this is really a video about traction control. Let me just change my mind. This is not a video about differentials. This is a video about, does the traction control work like it does in real life with some cars. See, how some cars in real life work is that they will, Range Rover, Land Rovers, those things, they used to just use traction control. That's what they used to rely on, but now they actually have locking diffs. The traction control would go side to side and it would determine the power. So here's what happens with an open diff. I'm just going to put it in park so I don't have to hold the brake. I'm just going to put on the screen right now what you want to skip to if you just want to see what happens. Here's how an open differential works. If one wheel goes into there, that wheel gets all the power. That's not the very technical definition of it, but what I'm going to do first is we're going to put the traction control off, and we're going to see if it can't get over this first obstacle here. I'm not going to use momentum because then it's just a test of momentum and not the car's actual ability. So, you gotta put your foot into it a little bit to get on here. Okay, come on. Okay, it just got to there. Now let's see if it will. Okay. Yeah, see, it's a little stuck right here. And for some reason it slapped it in third gear. That was the big jolt that we felt. Also, don't really pay attention to this much because you don't really need to know all that much from here. But right here is what you're going to look at. So right here you can see the different wheels. And actually, I'll just make this a bit bigger so it's easier to see. So here's all the color codes for the wheels, and here's the braking force. So if I just slap it in park, nothing. But if I'm actually on the brake, you can see I'm actually pushing on the brake. If I put my throttle on there, see, traction control's off, so the brakes aren't being used to try to make the car actually go. Now I'm going to go put traction control on, hold the brake. Now we're going to just let off the brake. I'm not touching the brake at all. Now, if this thing right here has a little spiky thing here, and you can see, because I won't push the brake, because you'll see if I push the brake, because this whole thing will go up here. So this is all like the game computer controlled type thing. So if I just step on it a little bit more, yep, there it is. See, I'm actually really surprised. I thought the BeamNG didn't do that. I thought that they just kind of cheated their way around it. But wow, they actually simulate the brake. See, you can see on this wheel, they're trying to use the brake here to send power to this wheel. Now, there's not all that much power because I'm only on 53% throttle. But if I kind of floor it a little bit, there, oh look, my pedal flew out from under me because I was pressing a little bit hard. Anyway, you can see if I just kind of just wait for it. There, it went, finally. I'm actually just gonna try to straighten it up a little bit. Okay, now that I'm right here, I'd like to show you something. So look, this wheel is pretty much just off the ground, it's spinning. And so in the rear we have this wheel up in the air. So you can see if I turn traction control off, and I just give it the beans. Okay, that wasn't meant to happen. Anyways, if I just turn traction control off right now, and then... Okay, so as you can see, once again, nothing's happening. It's an open differential. And you can see nothing's happening up here either. But then if I turn traction control on, it actually will use the brake. and try to make it start going. It might take a minute, but that's how these things are. I've seen videos in real life, and I've actually seen it work in real life, so sometimes it's kind of weird the way that it works. Sometimes it'll go, and then sometimes you gotta feather it. But right there, it's going. If we didn't have traction control right here, it wouldn't be going so well. It has basically what would be like a fake limited slip differential, or fake torque vectoring. Which also brings up the point, one more thing I wanted to show is, will it do the same thing when you go around a corner, but a little bit too much, and then will it apply the brakes? So right here, you can see our speed, and then if I just kind of press on the throttle a little, okay, a little bump, but you can see that right here, I'm not pressing the brakes at all. You can see right down there, I'm not pressing them, but it is using the brake. So right now, just going like this, it's using the brake on the rear left wheel. So it's using it on that wheel. So we've seen that BeamNG can actually do this correctly, which I was super surprised about. I thought that it was just kind of a computer thing that wasn't actually simulated, and just sent the power to the wheel that was kind of in the air. But no, it actually does do like a computer in a car. Traction control takes the power from the wheel that is spinning and tries to put it over to the wheel that isn't spinning using the brakes. So that's really cool that we've seen that. So, hopefully you like this episode, and goodbye.